Hello, everyone. I'm Wadat Hosseini, the Manassa Area Director, and we are here for another episode of our IEKC FIKA for this season. And I had the pleasure and honor to receive my guest, Daksha Khatri, who is the recipient of the Research and Scholarship Award, IEKC Award for 2025. And it was a great pleasure to meet her in person in New Orleans. Hi, Daksha. How are you now after all those months without seeing me?
Good. No, I missed your face a lot. Thank you so much for having me here with that.
Thank you, Daksha. And we will start with the typical question, please. So, can you introduce yourself so our audience are aware and familiar who you are?
Absolutely. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Daksha Khatri. My pronouns are she, hers, and I am so honored to be here today. I often describe my journey as one that bridges two worlds. So I grew up in Pakistan and where education was viewed as something you memorized, not something you questioned. And then fast forward, I came to the United States as a first gen student. And suddenly I was being asked to challenge ideas, think critically, and use my voice. It was exciting, but it was also disorienting, I would say. And I was constantly navigating who I was and where I fit in. And those experiences have shaped everything I do today. So currently, I serve as the community coordinator at the George Washington University, while I'm also pursuing my Doctor of Education in Higher Education Administration. And my dissertation explores how South Asian students navigate cultural conflict and identity development on U.S. campuses, while also looking into how universities can better support South Asian students by valuing their community cultural wealth, like resilience, multilingualism, and family ties that help them thrive. And at the heart of my work is a question that drives me every day. How do we build educational systems that see students not as deficits to be fixed, but as assets to be celebrated? And one day, I hope to continue that mission as a university president, creating spaces where global perspectives and belonging can truly be woven into the fabric of higher education itself. Yeah.
Oh, that's very impressive, Daksha. I wish I am there to witness this, and maybe we can have some business together when you are the president. Hopefully, good luck in this. And I would like to know more about your award. What was so unique? You think what was so unique about
Mhm.
your award that you won your research, or that you won an award for it? What is so special about it?
Yeah, thank you for that, Vidad. So the project that received this recognition is the research is titled Three Idiots, a comparative examination of education systems and student development. What made it unique was its storytelling approach. So instead of relying on the theoretical and conceptual framework solely, I used the Bollywood film titled Three Idiots as a cultural text to explore how student identity and learning are shaped differently across global systems. And I analyzed the film through the theoretical frameworks of Chickering's seven vectors of
Mm.
identity development and Ku's student engagement theory as well. But most importantly, I connected those theories to real cultural contexts.
Okay.
It highlights how student development is never one size fits all. It's influenced by culture, by family expectations, social class, and even how failure is defined. So the international education knowledge community recognized this because it broadens what research in higher education can look like. And it also shows that theory can thrive in art, film, and lived stories of students across the world.
Very, very interesting. I love this perspective and this lens, especially using media and movies. We'll talk about this, but I'm interested to know why did you choose a title for your research, The Three Idiots? So if you can tell us more about the context, it would be helpful.
Absolutely. And it's quite fascinating title.
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
so it does, and that's the whole point, right? It's to get to grab readers' attention. So the title pays homage to the Bollywood film, which is titled Three Idiots itself, which was my starting point for this research.
Mm,
The film resonates deeply with me because it critiques the rigid, high pressure education systems in South Asian countries and invites us to reimagine a model centered around curiosity, creativity, and well being. And I saw parallels between the characters' struggles and the experiences of international and first generation students in the United States institutions. So, students who are often navigating expectations, cultural differences, limited institutional understanding of their backgrounds. So, the title, Three Idiots, became symbolic in that sense. It's not just about the film,
yeah.
it's about the courage to question systems, redefining success, redefining failure, and also humanizing education itself.
Yes, very, very impressive. I like this perspective so much. Maybe I should have something about the region here from the same
Mm,
perspective. It would be very interesting to see
absolutely.
it. Yeah, I like comparative things in
In
general.
higher education.
So my question now, Daksha, is about yani after your engagement with media source
Mhm.
as which is movies in this case, how would you evaluate the use of media uh, as a source of information, especially when we work with groups who are outside our circles? I wouldn't say that
Mhm.
when we go outside our comfort zone, but when we have this diversity, would media be how would you evaluate media as a source of information?
I think that's such a powerful question with that. I truly believe media, and especially films, is one of the most accessible forms of global education. Movies are storytelling tools that cross languages, borders, and cultures. And they also allow us to see the world from a different lens, from somebody else's eyes, which is so vital in international educational work that we do. And ha- with that being said, I also think we have to approach media critically and thoughtfully because while it can broaden perspectives, it can also sometimes reinforce stereotypes if it's consumed unreflectively. So when working with the global groups and student population, I see media as both an entry point and a dialogue starter, a way to build empathy, understanding, connection, trust, but also a reminder to always ask whose story is being told, who's missing, whose it is from. Um, and it may not be, again, one size fit all. Just because it's my story doesn't mean it's the story of the next South Asian woman standing next to me, right?
Yes, exactly.
So it definitely gives you a basic understanding of a phenomena or culture or an educational system. However, when it comes down to practice in our work, we should be more conscious about it. And we should take the time to sit down with the students and ask those questions. Hi, my name is this. What's your name? Tell me your story. That is powerful rather than relying and using assumptions, what you saw in the movie. Um, and that is something that I always caution people when you're using media and forming your thoughts and forming your biases, right? Because everybody has biases, but how we what do we do in action is what matters. How do we navigate those things? So I think it's a great tool to utilize it, but also if used thoughtfully. But media can also bridge cultural gaps and spark the kind of reflection and conversation that true global learning requires. But we should always be mindful of what we're consuming, how much we're consuming, and also just talk, have that conversation, smile and say hi and talk to the students and learn about their particular stories as well.
Thank you for this. This is very insightful. Daksha, another question about now you are a PhD student. Is
Mhm.
your topic or the dissertation you are planning to do similar or in the same sphere, or you have a different study?
Thank you for asking. I can also talk about that for hours. So my dissertation study is focusing on South Asian students and their experiences. So I've always been the kind of person who is half glass full, then half glass empty.
Yeah,
And I came across this model, this framework from Yoso Taro, about community cultural wealth. And it is basically an asset-based approach when we are working with students of color in particular, and how we can uplift and affirm those voices and those capitals. So my research is looking into South Asian students who are graduate international South Asian students, and looking at how do they navigate U.S. systems, U.S. higher education, schools and campuses, and what type of cultural capital do they utilize. So there are in
yeah,
total 6 cultural capitals that USO describes: aspirational, linguistic, familial, social, and resistant capital. So my goal is to discover what kind of capitals are they using,
yeah.
as they kind of go through the education systems and kind of persist through until the graduation. Because I want to highlight the capitals and skills and talents that these students already bring to the campus, because oftentimes institutions use a deficit model where they kind of even tell students, or in the way they interact with them, it's kind of like, you're lacking this, you're missing this, it's this and this, whether that's finance or a legacy status or whatnot. But we forget the fact that these students are bringing so many other things, right?
Yes,
And it's
agree.
it's kind of like shifting away from the dominant capitals that
Yeah,
we often assume in the US, and looking at non-traditional capitals that a lot of students of color have within their communities. So that's one way to kind of uplifting those voices and those experiences, and also helping institutions to build systems and practices and policies by keeping this in mind, by using culturally responsive pedagogies and approaches where we can provide the support that these students really need, and also uplift their, celebrate these their culture, the
yes.
capitals that they're bringing. So
Yes.
that's kind of the goal is.
Excellent. Very, very interesting. And I wish you are going to win another award for your dissertation, because I know that there are many, many awards, especially for graduate students and those who are fresh PhD holders. So I will keep an eye and I will see you
Oh.
the second award.
Thank you. I hope I know our paths will cross with that.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your time, Daksha. All the luck. And if we can support you in any way, please reach out.
Thank you. I'm deeply grateful for the international education knowledge community for this recognition, and for also highlighting research that connects global storytelling with student development. And I hope my work encourages other scholars and practitioners to see that research doesn't have to be confined to data or theory, but sometimes it starts with a story that really moves us. So thank you
Yes,
so
I
much.
agree. Thank you so much.